TikTok, and it's not only about funny videos, and sometimes there are educative pages, and I think it's my favorite platform. So um, I'm also a recent graduate from Digipath, and I think I have 4 months experience. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Vincent. Janet?
Hi, everyone. I'm Janet. I think I have met everyone here apart from Brenda. So, Brenda, this is my introduction to you. I have 3 years of experience, so it's really nice to hang out with someone with kind of similar length of experience because you have the same length of experience. I started digital marketing through Digipath as well, and my favorite platform has got to be Instagram. I love Instagram. I love how I can reach out to, I mean, like many friends of mine are on there. So it's easy to, it's kind of seamless from WhatsApp. I also like it because I think I use it a lot. So the algorithm has favored all my hobbies from cooking to pets. Like there's so many dogs on my FYP page, and on my For You page, that is. And I also like a lot of digital marketing on there. So yeah, it's Instagram. What else did I have to say?
Just that. Amazing
Okay.
introduction.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Janet. Melanie?
Nice. So Melanie Hapisu is my name. I am founder and CEO of Digipath. Very uncomfortable to say that 4 years in, but I'm practicing. I am a digital marketer. 8 years experience. I'm finishing my 8th year. I just realized that early last week. So I'm finishing my 8th year in this space. It's been amazing working with different brands on different things. And my favorite platform, gosh, a difficult one, but let's just say TikTok for the win. I'm a faithful TikTok watcher. I really love how it's almost as if TikTok is in my brain. After a bad day, other than confiding in people closest to me, TikTok is the place for me to go. And I think other than just the personalization aspect, I love TikTok because then I don't know what to expect. So, 1 minute I'm crying, 1 minute I'm laughing, 1 minute I'm, serious. Yeah. So I love that whole aspect of surprise when it comes to TikTok. Yeah.
Amazing. So we have LinkedIn, we have TikTok, we have Instagram. We don't have anyone from Facebook. Okay, so my favorite social media platform is Instagram. Mainly because I just love the diversity of the content on there, from the reels to the stories. I really love watching stories from my favorite influencers, from my friends. I also love TikTok, but Instagram for the win on this one. I don't know why no one has mentioned Facebook. Is anyone on Facebook here?
I'm personally on Facebook.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so for today, we'll cover a few things. One, social media management, just a brief introduction. We'll talk about the social media platforms, the importances. Two, we'll do a bit of content creation and curation. And three, we'll do analytics and reporting, because what is digital marketing without analytics, without reporting? Because how will you know what is working and what is not working for you? And then finally, I will share a bit of my real life case studies, a few brands I've worked with, and my experience and my lessons. So I'm looking forward to having an engaging session. So be ready to turn on your mics and talk here and there and laugh as well, so that I can know we are together. You can raise your hands also and wave. Nice. First, I'll talk about different social media platforms. Of course, there are so many social media platforms, but I'll narrow down to the to 4 or 5. The first one being Facebook, with over 2.4 billion active users. Facebook still stands to be the most popular, though I know most people don't really check on their Facebook pages as much, and it's an age issue. People are moving to also video content, so you find people on TikTok, Instagram interacting with reels. But Facebook is ideal for community building and engaging with a wide audience, especially for brands and businesses. The other platform is Instagram, my favorite, Janet's favorite, with over 1 billion monthly active users. It's popular for the younger demographics, 18 to 34. However, I know people who are 50-year-old old and they interact with Instagram. I know some of my uncles who are also on Instagram. Instagram is good for visual content, videos, stories, reels. Think from where I sit, I think stories on Instagram are more engaging from my personal point of view. But I know other platforms have stories, but I don't think they can beat Instagram for sure. The other platform is Twitter, now X, with 330 million active users monthly, 330 to 500 million active users monthly. X is known for real-time updates, trending topics. If you want to know what is trending right now in the world, in Kenya, you just go on X and you get all the information there. And X is also good for conversations. I know you know what has been happening in our country of late, and I know all of us here have been getting the information from X. Very few of us have been sitting on Citizen and watching. We have been getting all that information from X. So it's really good for trending topics, conversations, and also customer service when it comes to businesses. I love how KPLC, KCB use their X platforms. I really love how they engage, how they get real-time feedback from their clients. I love it. Yeah. Then there's LinkedIn, Margaret's favorite platform, with 740 million users. LinkedIn is a professional network and also good for B2B marketing, business to business marketing. Contents you can share on LinkedIn, industry insights. There's a lot of job posting there. There's a lot of professional content. If you want to stay up to date with what is happening in the digital marketing space, you can get a lot from LinkedIn, a lot of information from LinkedIn. I personally love LinkedIn as well, though I'll not lie, I'm always there, that I'm always there 24/7, but I love LinkedIn. I'm recently working with Turn Left Media, who are LinkedIn partners in Kenya, and I'm in the training phase. And something I have learned in the few days I have trained is that LinkedIn is way broader than what we think. When you're like, for me, I was on LinkedIn because of course, looking for jobs, getting industry news. But now there's the LinkedIn marketing bit, which involves us as digital marketers, and it is broad. LinkedIn have different products. They position themselves differently. And even when it comes to LinkedIn marketing, your point of view or how you think when doing Facebook, Instagram ads and ads on other platforms, your thinking will have to change when you're doing LinkedIn ads for so many reasons. I'll mention my experience with LinkedIn ads at the end, and you'll be able to understand. Then there's TikTok. Whose favorite platform? Vincent's. So TikTok, Vincent and Melanie. TikTok has over 1 billion active users monthly. TikTok grew and blew up really fast, and it's really good for content creation, has a lot of engaging videos. I don't think if you take your phone, get into TikTok right now, you'll spend 5 minutes. You'll end up spending even 1 hour just scrolling, meaning the content there is really engaging. It's also very popular among the young audiences, but I know very older people who are on TikTok, including my mom. She really loves TikTok and shares TikTok videos with me. Yes. So TikTok is really good. There's YouTube. So YouTube has over 2 billion users logged in monthly. It's known for large video sharing, tutorials, vlogs. I know there was an era where people were really watching vlogs. I don't know if people still watch vlogs. Hands up if you watch vlogs on YouTube. I do once in a while. There's a lot of tutorials, reviews of anything, cars, phones. When you want to get a new phone, you go on YouTube, get a review, watch it, make your decision. So those are the platforms I mentioned. I know there are a lot of platforms, so many of them. And interestingly, Meta owns four, right? Facebook, WhatsApp, Messenger, and Instagram. There's Pinterest, there's Reddit, there's Quora, there's a lot. But I'm mentioning the few. Yes, Meta is so powerful. Yes, it is. Okay. I'll get into the importance of social media for businesses because we're digital marketers. And one, I don't know if we should engage on this one. I think everyone can give one importance or how they think social media is important for businesses. We'll start with Melanie.
Amazing. I think for businesses, social media, I'll just give one importance.
Yes.
A quick one that comes to mind is ability to be present where your target audience is. Just to give context, almost like going to a physical shop and not finding brand A will be very inconveniencing for you.
Yes.
Especially if you're the target audience and you expected to find them there. So I like to think of social media like that. So my one importance.
Okay. Janet, thank you. Melanie.
I think it's so important also because of cost-effective marketing. Because if you compare it to traditional advertising methods, I mean, there's so many small businesses that could not have gotten where they have if they were only relying on opportunities from billboards and television and radio or a newspaper. So I think it's just really nice because you can achieve so much for relatively less money or budget.
Yes, thank you, Janet. We are moving away from traditional marketing. Yes.
Yeah.
Vincent?
I think it's a good way to create trust as a business because, as in, if you have a high engagement rate with people and your portfolio and your work, I kind of trust you. So it's a better way of convincing people or new customers to visit your platform, your business, or whatever you're marketing on social media.
Yes, amazing. Thank you, Vincent. Margaret?
For me, it's generating leads because I feel like nowadays people are not so much into the walking into maybe your business or so. So I think it's good to generate leads as well as attract. If your target audience is a global or international, you're looking to go globally or international, that is also a plus.
Yes, amazing. Thank you. You've all answered the points that I had. You've all said them. So what I'm getting is that one, building brand awareness. Two, engaging with your customers directly. You don't have to have a shop in Eldoret to sell to someone in Eldoret. You don't have to have a shop in Mombasa to sell to someone in Mombasa. Three, direct sales. Also driving traffic to your website, converting, selling. All those are the importances of social media for businesses. I want to go through the customer journey so that we can understand and marry the two, because it's very important for us to understand the customer journey. One, if you do not understand the customer journey as a marketer, a digital marketer, social media marketer, you will jump some really important steps and end up with maybe if you're generating leads, you'll have poor quality of leads. Two, you might miss out on so many opportunities as a business if you do not go through the customer journey. So there's an acronym we used to use in campus. I don't know if you're familiar with it. AIDA: awareness, interest, decision, advocacy, and retention. So on awareness, this is where your audience learns about your brand. So many businesses and maybe few marketers really overlook this. However, it is very important. I will not buy if I don't know. So first, awareness is very important in the funnel. Then there's consideration. Consideration is where your audience evaluates your brand through your content, looking at testimonials, reviews, as Vincent said, and even your content, your credibility, before they start thinking, oh, I want to get this, I want to buy this phone, I want to buy this outfit. And then there's conversion. So conversion is where you use call to actions. You simplify the purchase process because you've already caught their attention. You've already made yourself, your product or your service known. And now the client is thinking of, I want to purchase. So you simplify the purchasing process and also use CTAs that really make sense. Then there's retention, where repeat clients come back, and most of the time they become your advocates. I know you've all interacted with businesses that right now you are their advocates. You'll be like, if you want to get a phone, go to this shop, because you've gotten your phone from there, and it's because you went through the customer journey and you have become a loyal customer, and you're even being an advocate for those businesses or those people to other people. So the customer journey is very important, even when you're doing your strategies. When you're starting out with a client, green, they don't have any social media platforms. They are setting up a shop. Let's use an example. They're selling household items. I know it has become a very a market that so many people are getting into. So they're doing household items, and they don't have any pages. So one, create your pages for them. Create their pages for them. Do content. Make sure they're known. Run awareness ads if possible. Two, you create interest. What content are you putting? You can use user-generated content. You can do reviews. You can do how-tos. And also now you move to conversion, where you use clear call to actions and you simplify the purchasing process. So do not make it too tiring for the client to make a purchase. So they have, they're interested, they want to buy. Maybe your call to action is DM to make an order. When they DM you on Messenger, you tell them, now come to WhatsApp. You're making the customer journey very long, very tiring, and you might lose out on some people. Then advocacy. How do you keep your loyal customers? What content would you put out? Do customer reviews, do user-generated content. That will really help on that. Any questions up to there?
Hi, Brenda. I think mine is more of an addition rather than a question. I like what you've just mentioned about making the journey shorter, or, straight to the point. And I think many of us take it for granted as marketers until you are the customer.
Yes.
So I just wanted to give an example of a client I had who would drive traffic to their DM. And then after people DM, they drive traffic to WhatsApp, which is the example you've given.
Yes. Yes.
And we almost used to lose everybody because I want you to think about it. For majority of people, for them to text you on WhatsApp, they'll need to save your number. There are some people who
Yes.
are quick. Maybe they'll search for a number or Truecaller, click on the WhatsApp icon. There are some like me who will paste it on a chat on WhatsApp and click on it, and the number will be live and I'll get to DM. But for most people, they'll think of the long way. And a good example, allow me to use my mom as an example. My mom, when you send her a WhatsApp contact, say you're telling her to add someone to the group, then you send her a WhatsApp contact, she gets so annoyed because on a WhatsApp contact you open, you probably find more than one number, and
Yeah.
you know which one is for WhatsApp. You'll
Mm-hmm.
find emails. And
Yes.
I think the worst part about it, for how most of our parents work, they want to click on the number, save it, and add them.
Mm.
But there are other people like me who you send that, and I'll get so annoyed because most groups I open, the link to the group is on the bio.
Mm-hmm.
Or if not, I will send you the link to send that person for them to join. Because why am I saving a stranger's number?
Yeah.
No. So I think we need to practically think about some of these things. It doesn't have to be so long. And depending on your call to action, I think that's the final action that people should take. So if you tell
Yes.
me to DM to order, I want to be able to actually make my order on DM. Don't take me to WhatsApp, don't take me to my website. You know,
Mm.
if I'm DMing to align on times for me to get a discovery call, it's either you're sending me a link to your calendar or you're telling me this and these are the times I'm available. So customer
Yes.
journey is something we really take for granted. And I think just coming from what you've said, I thought that would be something interesting to add on, because the more you think of the journey practically, the
Yeah.
easier you'll make it. I don't know what the rule is now, but I think the last time I checked on like rules of making things easier for a customer, I think it was a 3-step rule. So anything that
Mm-hmm.
goes above 3 steps, you've lost me. You know,
Yes.
just if we're signing up for a free webinar, you know, people don't want it to be complicated. I'll use
Mm.
meeting as an example. The invite had the link, but it also had meeting ID and password. Majority of
Yes.
the people use link. You know,
Yes.
we
Yes.
always go for the easiest solution. So I just thought to
Mm-hmm.
add that. But thank you, Brenda. Loving the conversation so far.
Thank you. Um, I really learned about the customer journey from Melanie actually, and I consider that every time I am managing a page, doing a campaign, doing a strategy. And most of the time, I like what you said, most of the time, we have to think about it from your point of view. Like, think about it like the client, the customer you're targeting. So don't think about it too much from the marketing perspective, because you will end up doing things as if people are bots. So think, I'm selling this to human beings. I'm also a human being. How would I like this journey to be? Yes. Any other question or addition? Janet, Vincent, Margaret.
No, I'm perfectly fine.
Amazing.
I'm all right.
Okay. Vincent,
I'm also
you're
fine.
good?
Yeah.
Okay. Sawa sawa. We'll move to content creation and curation. And we have different types of content and we use them differently. So I'll mention a few. There's static posts, videos that are becoming very popular on all platforms. Then there's stories that disappear after 24 hours. And then there's reels on our Instagrams and all that. Videos, engaging videos under 60 seconds. Under 60 seconds, key. There's blogs, there's insights for LinkedIn and all that. I'd like us to engage. Uh, but later on. So on content creation, I have 3 basic rules that I go by. 1, know your audience. 2, use visuals and storytelling. Don't be boring. It's never that serious. 3, be consistent with branding. Your font, your color. You can be vibrant if you want, but be consistent. On content creation, again, there are different tools for different purposes and reasons. I will mention a few tools and give it to you guys to give me some of your favorite tools, some tools that you really like and why. So on copywriting, there's ChatGPT, number 1. I know all of us have used ChatGPT. If you have not used ChatGPT, I think we'll pay for you the premium one so that you start using it. And then there's Grammarly. I use that a lot to check on mistakes, spelling mistakes, and all that. For design, there's Canva, there's Illustrator, and there's Photoshop. I love Canva. I also love Photoshop. I'm not as good on Illustrator. And personally, I don't really like design. When I have to do it, I'll do it, but I don't really like design. Then there's stock images, still under design. Where can you get your stock images? Free ones. We love free tools. We don't want to pay for everything. You don't want to pay for ChatGPT, you pay for Canva, you pay. No, you have free places where you can get your stock images and videos. 1, Freepik. 2, Unsplash. And 3, Pexels, for those that are writing down notes. And then we have scheduling, or it depends with where you're coming from. I'm from the coast, so how we pronounce things, we use Kiswahili, not English. So Hotsuite, there's Business Suite, and there's Buffer. So over to you, Vincent, Margaret, Janet, and Melanie. You can give me your favorite tools, why, and how you use them. Yes. We'll start with Vincent.
Okay, so my favorite tools are Canva and ChatGPT. It's easy to design on Canva because you already have templates and you don't have to think of the whole idea. It's kind of simple.
Yeah.
ChatGPT, it's really good. Sasa ndo najifunza kiasi kuhusu ChatGPT, so I'm learning about it. I think those are the 2 apps I normally use a lot.
Amazing. I also love Canva because of the reason you've given, and ChatGPT as well. Margaret?
So for me, I have quite a couple. I love ChatGPT, and there's also one called Bard in terms of maybe copywriting. Still learning how to do to write better prompts on ChatGPT because it's more about how you feed the AI. That's when you're able to get good feedback. Then design bit, I'm learning Canva, and and on editing, I'm also learning CapCut. I've used Canva, yes, but there's still some new features that I'm yet to learn. Currently started learning CapCut because of TikTok.
Yes.
I've used Pexels. I've used the one on images. I've used Pexels. Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you. Janet?
I actually like the fact that Margie spoke about CapCut because I like CapCut a lot as well, together with Canva. But CapCut is usually for videos.
Yes.
And for stock images, I usually use Pexels and Freepik. and a little bit of Unsplash. I didn't even know Unsplash is free because I think the last time I checked, they were asking for money. I don't know. I'm going to check it again now that you mentioned that it's free. Otherwise, I like it. And for stock images, I also get some of them from Pinterest. For design, I like Canva. I have not used the ones you spoke about. I've even forgot their names. The ones, I don't even know. I've not even written, Illustrator and
Photoshop.
Photoshop.
Yeah.
I am a bit shy about using them, but I think now that you've mentioned them, I'm going to check them out. I use I love AI. I am a big fan of AI, so I use ChatGPT a lot. And I use Gemini. Okay, that was Bard before, but now it's Gemini.
Yes.
It's called Gemini.
Yes.
And I also use Copilot. It's one that I have fallen in love with because it has GPT-4 for free at all times.
Okay.
So
Thank
I
you.
like that a lot.
I'm
Yeah.
learning. I'm learning.
Me too.
Copilot, right?
Oh yeah, and for audio, because sometimes I edit audio. I
Mhm.
like to use Riverside, but that's for podcasts. And
Mhm.
that's for podcasts that are hosted by Spotify. I think that's free actually.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, that Riverside is the other one that I really like.
Okay.
It has AI. It's
Amazing.
really nice. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm learning. I'm also learning. You see? Anyway. Melanie.
Hey, mentioned zote, but honestly,
Uh-huh.
a favorite for me, a must have for me to function during the day is ChatGPT.
Mhm.
So definitely, I think that's the first thing I open, then my email, then everything else when my day starts.
Mhm.
Um, I do a bit of design when I have to, so definitely Canva comes through. For pictures, I'm on Canva Teams, so I get to use the free pictures on Canva. But if
Mhm.
not, I prefer to use Freepik or Unsplash.
Mhm.
For social media management, I think ever since the platforms built inbuilt tools for scheduling
Yes.
that, then I don't use any tool anymore. But
Okay.
I used to use Hootsuite and Planoly. So right now I just use what is within the platform. I think maybe the last one for reporting, again, inbuilt tools, but in case I need anything external, I use Metricool.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'm learning. That's why I wanted us to engage, especially on the tools, because different marketers use different tools. Of course, preference, how they work. And yes, Unsplash is free, Janet. And also, Photoshop, for me, when I was introduced to design, I was introduced to Photoshop. Can you imagine? I am grateful for that experience, but I was like, we would have done this with Canva. But with Photoshop, I think you can tell when a design is done by Photoshop, Illustrator, and when a design is done by Canva. I don't know if anyone relates with that. I I I strongly feel you can tell, but any tool can work so long as you're using the rules when you're doing your design. And also for AI, ChatGPT, how you prompt it is very important. It will work for you depending on how you prompt it. So prompting ChatGPT is something that all of us need to familiarize with and learn. I learned that from Melanie, I think. Yes, Melanie, because there was a time we were doing a few projects and using ChatGPT, and the promptings really matter. I sometimes even ask ChatGPT to help me design, like give me a structure on how to design. So you can prompt it to do that for you as well. I have used ChatGPT for SEO. Of course, there's a lot of tweaking you'll do, but it really came in handy, especially when I wanted to understand SEO and website management. So ChatGPT, thank you. Yeah. Um, we're good up to that point. I have a question. I think most of you have had it. If you've not had it, too bad. But all of us have to give an answer. So as a social media manager, digital marketer, you manage different platforms and interact with different people behind the scenes. Of course, they don't know they're interacting with Melanie, but you do the posting, do the running of the ads and all that. How do you handle negative feedback or comments? Case in point, you're handling a client's page and they're selling iPhone Street Kenya. They had that issue where people started saying they're selling refurbished phones as new phones. So how would you handle such comments as a social media manager? Will you ignore? Will you delete? Yeah. So we'll start with Margaret, go to Vincent, Janet, Melanie, then myself. Yeah.
So personally, I would say it's very essential to get to understand where the complaints are coming from, and empathize with the customers at a personalized level. And so I would probably approach it from that angle, because it's not every day the business is going to run successfully. There's always some negative feedback, and it's all up to you as a social media manager to be able to understand why the client is complaining, and try and come up with a better way to solve the client's problem.
Okay. Thank you. Vincent?
I have never been in such a situation, but I think you first understand where the complaint has come from, then be positive and respond to it immediately. I think it's the best response, rather than kuitupilia mbali tu. Yeah, thank
Deleting.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Janet?
I've really also never been in such a position. You've actually asked that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's very scary even thinking about it. But one thing for a fact that I know is that it's not a good idea to try to brush it off or ignore it or delete or do something shady like that.
Yeah.
I think because at the end of the day, we're dealing with people. So, and one thing that I have seen from my experience and others is that whenever you deal with people, as long as it's people, just remember the empathetic part of them. So
Yes.
I think I would just stay calm, because I'm the one to panic. I can very easily panic when something like that happens, especially if it goes viral, because that's a possibility. People these days love bad things.
Yeah.
So I think I would just first try to really stay calm, whether it's meditation, yoga, whatever is going to work, man. Stay calm, professional, and then acknowledge it. Like, be really, really sorry, because I'm dealing with people and this is their ego as well. People like to see their complaints are being heard and the other person say sorry or something. So I'll just say sorry and maybe just take the conversation offline and try to resolve it. Mostly, if it's a misunderstanding, I would just explain how the actual offer is. The customer is king, but not always correct. That's one thing actually I've been seeing people say, and I agree. So you have to remember that sometimes the customer could have actually misunderstood the offer. So if it's a refurbished phone they bought and they expected a new one, maybe just explain the difference and tell them that it's not a bad phone still. It's just that this one goes through another process and whatnot, and try to resolve it. Maybe educate the customer if that's the problem. Maybe the problem is misunderstanding. If the problem is on the side of the company I'm working for or my company, just provide a solution then, and then follow up later for maybe UGC.
Yes.
That's what I would do.
Thank you. Thank you. Amazing point. Melanie?
As you guys are speaking and saying, stay calm. Easier said than done. Let me just say that. And it happens. All those people.
Has it happened to you? How did you handle it?
And it has happened to me,
Yeah.
both on a brand level and individual level. Brand level, I had a client who was launching after the Do-Sit attack, and they decided that they'll pretend they don't know what's happening, and they'll continue their launch and invite people and think about it. Where the backlash we got, and we were launching a track. It was so bad, and you see, you've warned the client, but they don't want to listen. So now you have to start worrying. And people are
Yes.
saying all sorts of things like you're insensitive,
Mm.
things equating to reject, what we have now as reject. So now reject the brand.
Yes.
And it got so bad to the level where now it was not at a level where a social media manager would handle it.
PR.
It got to a level where we now had to talk to a PR person, a relations person, because then the reputation of the business is going away. And that's not my work as a social media manager. There's the little I can do with comments, but
Yes.
it got to the level where we now had to put out a press release and, call the media and blah, blah, blah. So that was like the extreme worst. I was very new in my career, could almost ask the world to swallow me. But it was very nice that the company had both a social media agency as well as a PR agency, so it was pretty easy to solve. The second situation, and I think even as I speak through this, then you're ideally getting steps of how we handled it. So second situation was myself, Melanie, as the brand. I was at an event, took a picture innocently with a founder of another organization. And the event was for a company called Wowzy. You might have heard of Wowzy. They do influencers, different sizes, kind of campaigns. So even you can be an influencer today. So in case you want to earn some small money on the side, go check out Wowzy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was at a Wowzy event. The MC told us, yeah, guys, sit next to your neighbor, take a picture, smile, post it on social media, put these hashtags. And I did exactly that, like I always do at every event. Little did I know I was going to be trolled for two things. One, being at the event, because people at that point were against Wowzy. So that's the first dose of, being bullied that I received. Of how can I support Wowzy? Then the second one became a case of, see when ule msichana wa kuwork na influencers. That means you work with Wowzy to help them get influencers also. And then somebody slapped a screenshot of me asking an influencer to do a campaign for us and in exchange get a PR gift, which was quite normal. I mean, once the campaign, say no, you don't have to slap it on social media. And even if you do, I mean, keep my name out of it. I'm not the client. I'm doing what the client has asked me to do. So that was my second dose. Then my third dose on the same day was the CEO I took a picture with was also not Twitter's favorite.
Wow.
So I was bullied to the extent of trending for a few minutes. And it was the worst day of my life. And I really wished, I could book those people and do all that. That's why I was telling you, it's easier said than done. And the worst part, because you're at the event and I was a speaker. So you can imagine it totally disoriented me. I had to speak. And, you're speaking and the Wowzy is posting about you speaking and people are adding Matusi on that post. Thank God you're the speaker, you'll see it after. You won't see it again. So as soon as I was done with my day, of course, I had a whole day to think about how to action it because it had not died down. Then the first thing I did was ideally take a stand and, say, yes, I am Melanie, but I do not work for Wowzy. Neither do I work with Wowzy on a client level. And yes, the person on the screenshot is me because then they took a screenshot of me asking an influencer to work for free, ideally. Yet, on this other hand, Wowzy is talking about how influencers should not work for free. So what am I saying? So of course I had to clarify, I'm not Wowzy. Neither did I say influencers should not work for free. I'm of the opinion that depending on what a client offers you, if you like the deal, if you want to work for free completely, if you want a PR gift, if you want to be paid, it's okay. you're an adult,
Yes.
talk about it.
Yes.
So I had to like put a stand. Of course, I had to say I'm acting on behalf of the client. I didn't mention the client, but people on Twitter, they brought it in. So you can imagine my client also had to say something.
Wow.
Yeah, but in short, away from the panicking and doing all that, for me, first step is put out the stand as it is. And for me, the stand is the truth. Of course, in the case where whatever is happening has a truth to it.
Yeah.
The other person will tell you something different. But if it has a truth to it, I say, be honest, lay whatever is there.
Yes.
And watch how it goes. Sometimes it will die out, sometimes it will keep going. For me, every time there was an opportunity for me to clarify something, because I don't want my name to go down like that, I did clarify. Other people just keep quiet, but for the sake of my brand, because then the next
Yes.
thing that happened is my company would have been brought in, I would have lost clients. I thought, just for the sake of, pinning that there, this is the truth. So whatever you guys are saying is not the truth, but this is my version of the truth. And
Yeah.
eventually that worked. It died down. The people who eventually started the trend discovered that thanks to my clarity, I was not involved. Of course, they apologized behind the scenes, not in public. But yeah, that's how I dealt with it.
Wow. What an experience. This is what you bring to the table. 8 years of experience.
I would not wish it on anybody.
I know.
But
Sorry
anyway,
about that. Sorry about that, by the way.
and it's bad. You need to think about it even from allow me to just add that you need to think about it even from a brand perspective. So for me, that happened how many years ago? I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years ago. And I had never been cyberbullied. So I didn't, okay, that people struggle to come back on social media, but you always imagine ni jokes, si serious ni jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't come back to Twitter actually, tuseme tu nimerudi Twitter for Ruto Mask.
Wow.
So it's been all those years. I think it's actually been 4 clean years of, I see something and I really itch and I want to comment. Then I'm just like, guy, what if these people remember? So every time there's like a conversation on influencers not being paid or like influencer,
Yeah.
I get worried because I'm just like, what if they remember? So
Oh.
I still have
Yeah.
that fear, but I think now I'm officially back to talking trash. But it's so you can imagine that's an individual brand, but for a
Yes.
company, you can't go quiet for 4 years.
Yes, you can't.
So eventually you have to speak. And Kenyans being Kenyans, and I think a good case study we can look at or think about even as we have this conversation is our president at the moment.
Yeah.
If you look at the past posts he's done, maybe even the past week or two, everything on that post is Ruto must go. Even when he's saying, oh, we condone Trump, even when he's saying, oh, we've lost our partner in the country, people are just trolling him and trolling him. So sometimes it's not as easy as you think. It won't just die down in 24 hours. It may continue for weeks, for months. What then do you do about it? Do you continue to post as if nothing is happening? Do you address the issue on the table? Difficult questions to ask yourself.
Yes,
You,
for
Brenda.
sure. Oh, thank you. Thank you for. I'm really sorry about your experience, by the way. And I had you mention Wowzy. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
They did a number on me at some point.
And by then, Wowzy didn't put out a statement, just for you guys to know how it was.
What?
Yeah, they did not. They didn't even actually try to not associate with themselves with me. They didn't put out anything. Yeah.
I think they're used to being trolled.
I think so too.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
But you see, that's a good thing you brought up, Brenda, because no matter how used to you are to being trolled, does that mean that you don't handle it? Whether it's
You
from a
have to handle it.
perspective or a DM perspective, because that's equal to deleting.
It's
Like,
actually,
let's be honest, it's equal to deleting. And what
yes.
we're going to do, just be aware that we now live in a screenshot economy.
Uh-huh.
I think this whole Occupy Ruto must go has been a good example where people have been posting things, deleting them. Before you know it, the screenshot is going around.
Screenshots.
people are cooking screenshots now. So I also want you to
Yes.
think of that angle of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. um, for me, I don't think I have experienced that directly. However, with small brands, there's a, can I call it a cafe? I was managing their page, and it's along Mombasa Road, and they do burgers, chips, those things. And people, there's a post we posted, and of course, it was a design done, not a real time photo of the burger. And guys on the comment section were like, this is not what I got. This is not what I normally get when I come here. So how do you explain to people this is just a design? So it was not really a big crisis, but it was something that we had to handle. One, you always have to stay professional, and two, always address the issue. Uh, if it means apologizing, if it means talking about it, even involving PR, as Melanie has said, you always have to address the issue. Practical examples, there's this brand, even Uber has experienced that, not Uber, but Bolt, where people were being harassed by their drivers, and they put out statements and all that. And at some point, people were boycotting them, but they're still in business because they had to address the issue, and they addressed the issue. Another brand I can remember is Giraffe Manoa. Yes, they were profiling people, so racism and all that. And people really were very were very vocal about it on Twitter. I don't know how they handled it. I didn't follow, but I saw they released a statement and all that. But case in point is address the issue promptly. If it means reaching out to a PR agency, do it. Do not ignore. Uh, and also learn from the feedback. As a brand, as a marketer, like I learned, I would not put out the what you order versus what you get thing. If this is what you get, this is what we're doing. So we even had to tell the client, we are not putting out AI generated or any other designs that are not real-time photos, because this is a restaurant. Let's invest in a photographer, do a good shoot for all the meals so that we don't get that feedback next time. I have also given negative feedback on social media, Java House, and I love how they handled it, because I was mad. There was an offer they were giving, and I went there. It was not really what they were talking about, and the food tasted stale. I tried to talk to the waitress and the waiters, but they dismissed me in a way that, where umekujia offer, so what do you want? So I went to their page and commented, and they reached out, apologized, apologized even on the page, and offered me a free meal, which I had. Yeah, so those are the few examples I can pick. Key, address the issue promptly. If it means de-associating yourself, if it means over-explaining yourself, like what Melanie was saying, do it, because all this can happen at the expense of your client's brand, your face out there, your credibility. And yes, restaurants can really catfish. Yeah, so that's it for handling negative feedback and comments. On staying calm, and I don't know if that's practical, but stay professional always, even if it's on the DMs, because people will screenshot, as Melanie said. It doesn't have to be on the comment section, but if it is in the DMs, you will say something rude, they will screenshot and take it to Twitter, and you will not like it. So, yeah, professional, address the issue promptly, and learn from the feedback. Learn from it. As a marketer, if it's information you did not put out correctly, maybe you're saying there's an offer on burgers, and you say all food, there's an offer on all meals, and you really meant burgers, wanted to mean burgers, and people come and you're like, no, we're just giving offers on burgers, and they go on social media. Learn from that. Learn how to put information correctly so that your audience can understand. Yes, so we'll move to analytics and reporting. Reporting is very important, whether you're doing organic posting or ads. You have to check your analytics and you have to report. Why? Because this is how you know what is working and what is not working. So are your efforts paying off? How will we know? Analytics. Most platforms, all platforms actually, have inbuilt analytics. So you can check your Facebook analytics from Business Suite. You can check your Instagram analytics from Business Suite or from Instagram. You can check your TikTok analytics. You can check your X analytics. And it is very important, whether or not you're running a campaign, check analytics. One, you'll be able to measure your return on investment. Spending 10,000 on ads. My goal is to generate leads or get people asking and buying. So how will we know? What are we getting? We've done these ads for 2 months. We have inquiries. We do not have anyone buying. So basically, there's no return on investment. How are we going to curate the ads next time? Is it the targeting that is an issue? Is it that we skipped the customer journey? We moved to conversion before we even did awareness. Yeah. Two, you get to understand your audience behavior so that when you're running ads, when you're posting, you'll be able to know this is my audience, age 18 to 34. When I'm doing my ads, I'll target this. Most people that view our content are in the suburbs, so I will not target people from Narok or from Kisumu, yet people who view our content and interact with it are from Nairobi suburbs. Say you're selling something bespoke, something that people in those areas can afford and people in some areas cannot really afford. Another thing is you'll be able to understand your engagement, your traffic, and your conversions. So there are key metrics to track when looking at your analytics and report. One, engagement rate, which is the likes, the comments, the shares. Two, the reach and impressions. How many unique users are you reaching, whether you're doing paid advertising or organic posting? How many new accounts are you reaching with your content? Three, conversion rate. How many purchases? How many people are taking action? If it's a lead form, how many people are filling in the lead form? If it is visiting the website, how many people are really clicking that link to be redirected to the website? Yes, and from this, you can be able to understand, are you following the customer journey correctly? Are people getting tired somewhere? I'll mention something when I'm mentioning the case studies and my personal experience. Tools you can use for measuring and reporting. One, Google Analytics. This is for website traffic. You can be able to tell how social media is driving traffic or affecting your website traffic. Two, we have the Facebook Insights. We have the Twitter Analytics. As I have mentioned before, different platforms have analytics. So you can check, and it is very important to check on your analytics. If you're handling a client, make sure on a monthly basis, give a brief report or give a report on whatever is happening, whether you're doing paid or organic posting. I think this is where most of us go wrong. We assume when it comes to analytics and reporting, and yet this is one of the most important things. You have done your strategy, you have done your content curation, you've understood the social media platforms that you need to use, and you've done your content, you've done your ad strategy, and then what? You have to report. You have to check your analytics. Are your efforts working? You could be doing something that is not really working. You're putting in a lot of effort, a lot of work, and it's not working. Yes. Anyone, anything you want to mention on analytics and reporting? You can do it right now. Yes. Melanie?
Right. I think the only thing I can add out of what you've said is when it comes to analytics, at the end of the day, it's not just you as the marketer who's going to see them, it's the client as well. The client is not a marketer. We need to stop forgetting that.
Yes.
So simple, stupid works the best. You know, you need to take it like this class where you're trying to help the client understand what do those reports actually mean, either with an aim of helping them to make a decision or helping them just, you know, understand what the progress is like. At the end of the day, no client cares about how many people have we reached, but they want to know how many people have we reached that are actually our target audience. And
Yes.
how can we then translate that into either inquiries or people who end up actually being paying customers. So at the end of the day, let's not just look at analytics and reports like, you know, beautiful numbers and insights that we are getting, but look at them as beneficial to your client, but also beneficial to you as the marketer, especially if you're the one creating content. Insights
Yes.
really, really come in handy. If you're the
Yes.
one delivering the message to the client in terms of are things working or not, reports then come in handy. But I think most of all, that's your defender in terms of
Yes.
should the client keep you or not. That's
Yes.
what is talking. So there's nothing else you're going to tell a client. For as long as the reports are good, then things are fine. Example I can give even as I finalize. I've worked with Hotpoint for the past 4 years. I only met Hotpoint the day they did the proposal. After that, we've never had a meeting again. All I do is send monthly reports. I remember I used to really pester the clients and ask them, you know, let's meet, let me take you through the report. And they used to tell me, you share your report and you share 5 bullet points to summarize what the reports mean. And we understand. So
Yeah.
why are we having a meeting? You
Yes.
know, and they were like, we understand what's happening and it's very clear what decisions need to be made. And they even went ahead to say, if the reports are good, if the numbers keep going down, up, and even if they go down and you have an explanation that's valid for it,
Yes.
do we need to meet? So again, think of analytics as the weapon they are. That's what I'll say. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I also think, you tell me, Melanie, if I'm correct. I think on reporting, when you're doing your reports, do not put unnecessary or a lot of information. As you said, what you used to do with Hotpoint. Do a simple report, go straight to the point. Don't start pitching for the client on the report because they rarely even go through them, especially if they're getting conversions on their end. I think that's also something I really put into consideration.
I totally agree. And maybe just to add on that, Brenda, no one likes numbers, especially from the client side. They don't like
Yeah.
numbers. So
Yes.
all these things that you're telling me, you either make it fun or you make it simple. Those are the
Yes.
only two options on the table. And Brenda has been honest with you. Clients ask you to send the reports and they don't look at them. That same Hotpoint, they actually told me if it was not for my 5 bullet points, then maybe we would have a meeting because no one
Yeah.
has to go through a report on their own. It's just not anything that they care about that much. Then they just want to know if they're making sales or not. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
conversion. Yeah. Anyone else with anything to add on reporting, analytics? Margaret, Vincent, Janet?
No, I'm just good. Wow, I am just very good. Thank you so far. Thank you.
Okay. Margaret?
Oh, as I've said, I think I'm having an overflow of information.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Vincent?
No, I don't have anything to add.
Amazing. So I'll take you through a few, I'll call them case studies or my experience. Whatever I've been saying is like the theory bit, but how do you put it into practice or practically saying, what are you saying, Brenda? So for me, I started social media marketing not as a career, but I had a business over COVID and I needed to get on Instagram, Facebook. So I thought, and I needed to get clients. So I was selling shoes, getting them from Nigeria and selling them in the Kenyan market. And the prices then were between 2,000, 2,500. And I didn't know how else to sell because I did not have a physical shop. And then that's when the online shops had really started. People have pages, sell things. So I was like, yeah, I can do it. And that's how I started. And I was doing it the wrong way, obviously. I was getting my information from YouTube. I really did not know what to do. I really did not have a strategy. I had very good photos. Uh, I did the videos, but I did not have a strategy. So what I was doing, I was boosting posts. Hey, yeah, you all know that we don't do that here. We don't boost posts. So I was boosting posts. You can boost posts, but you will not really get a good return on investment. You not really get quality leads. You not really get people inquiring. You just get views and likes for your posts, and we all know that's not what you really want. You want conversions. So later on, I decided to take a course on the Google one on marketing, on digital marketing. And I got to learn a lot of things. But again, I was really confused because it was theory, but the practical bit, I was like, so you're telling me SEO, all those jargons, meta titles, I don't know what, but how do I use this? Fast forward, I got an internship somewhere and I started, I was interning actually as a digital marketer, social media manager. So that's when I got to interact with real life clients. That's when I got to put into practice whatever the theory I was doing. Of course, I was just being given a small stipend. It was not the best paying, but we all start from somewhere. And I really got hands-on experience. One client I'd highlight from that experience is a clinic, an eye clinic that came on board, and they were green. The owner of the clinic was quite elderly, so she was not a millennial, neither was she a Gen Z. She didn't know anything about social media marketing. All she knew is that she has the skill. She's opening up an eye clinic. She's an ophthalmologist and she wants someone to help. So I was done with my internship then, and that's the first client I was given to manage. And it was a learning curve for me. One, I was doing management, Instagram, Facebook, of course. And two, they had a YouTube page that they used to do videos every week. And the videos were just educative videos on eye diseases and all that, because that's what she was about. So that's why I got to interact with Photoshop. That's why I got to interact with ads, a little bit of ads. And that's when I felt like I needed help and got into a few classes with Melanie on ads. Thank you so much, Melanie. That has come a long way, whatever I got from there. So that is the first case study. What am I trying to say? You will never put this theory bit, you'll never learn if you don't put this theory bit into practice. So be open to working with even clients that pay as low as 3,000 shillings, because that's where you get your experience from. That's where you get to put into practice your whatever you're learning. For the business, it flopped. I was equipped on the social media bit, but not on the running a business bit. So it flopped, but it was a good experience as well. And that's when I started digital marketing. So a few clients I'd highlight. After that, cloud productivity solutions. And those are Microsoft partners in Kenya. That was on my second job, full-time job. So I got into the role. You're a digital marketer. Wow, welcome. Nice. So we have a client and they want LinkedIn ads. See, you've said you've done a course on ads by Melanie. So now this client wants LinkedIn ads. And I was freaking out. I cried. I think I cried because I was confused when I saw that brief. First of all, the client had a marketing team, so they knew what they were doing, and they had given us the projected number of leads they are looking for, the targets. So we were given the targets and the brief. So we want LinkedIn ads. This is the product. We were taken through a brand immersion or a product immersion, and now you have to do it. So my role was, I was basically the account manager. Yes, I was managing that account. And in the team, there was a developer, there was a campaign manager, because I expressed that I have not run LinkedIn ads before. And this budget, they had a budget for $6,000 for 2 months. So that's about 700,000. Yeah. So that was their budget. And that budget scared me. I did not know what to to do with the budget, how to divide it, but we had a team. So what we were expected to do, one, of course, do the social media management for them. Two, do a landing page because it was a product, and B2B. So LinkedIn ads because it's B2B. So do a landing page. 3, do blogs, do SEO, do the ads, do the creatives, and what? Hey, there's a lot we're doing. Of course, responding to the leads was not our bit. And mind you, it was purely LinkedIn and Google Ads. So the client already had a strategy in mind and just needed people to do it. So as the accounts manager in the team, just me, the web dev. The web dev is the web dev just does his thing. Yes, the back end, ensuring the website, the landing page is up. And now there's the campaign manager just managing the campaign. So setting up the campaign and all that. So for me, I was not doing of course, there's the designer and all that, but the rest of what I've mentioned was left to me. You tell us, sasa ni wewe kusema, allow me to use Kiswahili. Sasa ni wewe kusema, tell us how much are we spending in a day? Long story short, we I did my best. But I felt like I was thrown into Indian Ocean and left there alone. The campaign went well. We did not generate the predicted number of leads, but we generated leads. I learned a lot. From there, I learned how to do SEO because they were checking. They did not just they wanted those things. If you've interacted with SEO and website management, those red buttons or those red colors up, they had to change to be green. Whatever you do, we don't care. We want it to change. The landing page, I knew nothing about landing pages. I had not done that before. All I knew was social media management, Instagram, Facebook ads. I was good at that. But now you can't run Facebook ads for B2B. So takes us back to knowing our audience. Like, you have to know your audience. You can't sell a B2B product to people on Facebook. No one will see it. And mind you, they had done that before and it flopped. That's when they did a new strategy. So that's when I learned LinkedIn here and there. Reporting was every week. It was a very stressful campaign. I cried. I think I cried so many times because I'm waking up in the morning, looking at those lead forms, and literally no one has filled. Little did I know, for LinkedIn campaigns, you have to give it 1 to 2 weeks at least for it to learn so that you can start seeing engagement and all that. Lessons I picked up from this: one, don't be afraid to do these things. Like, you'll always hack them. It's not new. Nothing is new under the sun. Someone has done that before, and there's always a first time experience in marketing. Always a first time experience. So for this one, I learned how to manage websites. So I was even managing our website for the company as well after that. I learned how to do reporting for LinkedIn. I learned how LinkedIn works, and now I'm also still learning. LinkedIn for me is a monster. I would say that. So I'm still learning. And what I said at the beginning, you cannot jump awareness and consideration and go to conversion. So basically what the client was trying to do was to bring the product and sell it immediately. And trust you me, it's not a bag, it's not a cloth, it's not a pair of shoes. It was actually a product that is B2B. So the target audience is businesses on LinkedIn. So or rather, we did not even advise them to go through awareness, consideration, and fast. And then later on, we do conversion ads. So I feel I would have done better, even given the budget. We would do one awareness, convince them to add the budget because budgets were not an issue for them. And then move now to conversion ads. We generated leads. I don't know if I would have shown you guys a brief report on that, but it will take time for me to find it. We generated leads from the LinkedIn ads, Google ads. The Google ads were basically for awareness. That's what they were saying, but they wanted leads from them, and they were not really working well. But the leads from LinkedIn were not quality leads. Why? Because we skipped that process. 2, I learned for LinkedIn ads, you have to use as many creatives as possible. Do not stick to one creative. That is a mistake we also did, or I did. 3, the budgets on LinkedIn, like, it's the minimum is $10, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong, but the minimum is $10, and you have to stretch that budget because there's bidding and there's all that. So the budgets on LinkedIn, you really need to use high budgets on LinkedIn. That's something I learned. I did not know. I thought it was the 150 from like Facebook ads and all that. Lessons again. Do it. You're not the first one to be put in such a situation. So do it either way. That's where you get a lot of experience. I did blogs. I had never done blogs before. I know writing is not hard, but I had never done blogs. I had never done website management. I had never done SEO. And that's where I learned all that from. And I also picked a few lessons. So when I'm handling that budget, I know how to use it better. I now know, or rather I'm learning how to manipulate LinkedIn. Like your mindset has to change when you're doing LinkedIn ads, different from Facebook and other platforms. Another experience I'd highlight is QS Africa. So for QS Africa, again, that was my account, I was managing it. And one, Wowzy, Melanie mentioned Wowzy. So I was working with Wowzy on that one. And the client was adamant that work with Wowzy and work with the micro influencers. So even if you have those guys with even 1,000 followers and all that. Yeah, so, and I learned the client is not always right. You can give your expert advice. If it's not working, it's not working. If you've come to me and you need help, then I'm supposed to offer help, right? Not that I will not listen to you because you know your brand better, but you should not be the controller, especially when it comes to marketing, because things will burn and you will be blamed. You'll be the one to explain. The client will be like, but I told you, I just want influencers. And you take your budget, put it on Wowzy. No returns, no strategy, however. So for QS, it was really interesting. And because it was last minute budget, one, QS Africa they do something similar to, I've forgotten this name, but they take students abroad for further studies, doing their masters and all that. So they were new in the Kenyan market and wanted to do an event at Sarit Center, and they were looking at 1,000 registrations, and those guys had to be people either in their third year of doing their undergrad, or people who have graduated recently, or people who are looking to do their masters. And of course, you have to have a bachelor's degree to do your masters. So for that client, one, it was last minute. Two, it was, and I'm mentioning this because this will always happen. Like, you'll never find the perfect client. Either they'll not be last minute, but the budgets will be released late. Either they'll want to control the entire strategy, or they like, you'll never find the perfect client, to be honest, unless you tell me your experiences if you found the perfect client. So for this one, it was not a bad campaign, took it up. The strategy was they really were insisting on influencer marketing. I remember I even called Melanie on this one and asked her a few influencers I would work with, and she gave me one, Joanne the career coach, and Eli Mwenda. And I reached out to them and they were okay. Later on, the client is on a limbo. They don't know when they're doing the event. They're like, oh, I think we're doing it on 20th or 21st. So, you can't work with that, especially when you're working with influencers, because these are guys booked. They have their schedules on how they shoot, how they put out content and all that. So we paused on that. And then they brought in Wowzy. So they told us to use Wowzy. And the other strategy was email marketing. Or we got contacts from Brighter Monday of people who Brighter Monday. So people who could be interested in the event. So we got email marketing. We did the email marketing strategy. The client again insisted on email marketing and SMS marketing. So I had to do SMS marketing as well. And we did the ads, the Google and all that. But later on, the number of registrations was increased. And that's after we have signed the contract and all that. And we're like, okay, let's do it. They increased the budget and all that. Mind you, 2 weeks to the set date, nothing has been done. They're delaying. So 3 weeks to the set, 2 weeks to the set date, that's when they're giving us everything. So now we have to give them now our email marketing, our emails, so that they approve the creatives and all that. So that took like 3 days. So we were left with a week. and we've already entered into a contract with these guys. So there's no way you'll tell them, you're delaying, so we'll not work with you. We did that campaign, but we had to take a different trajectory because nothing was working. A few days to the campaign, and they're like, oh, we've just gotten, I don't know, 42 registrations, and they're looking into getting 1,000 people, and they're getting people from outside the country to come speak at that event. So we had to manage crisis. That was a crisis. So what will you tell the client? Will you tell them, oh, now deal with the 42, but they have paid your money, you're working. I was working at an agency, so you cannot really give such reasons. So from where I sat as an account manager, I started thinking quickly, and I had to think, how do we get even at least half of this target, so we get even 500? Because even themselves, the client knew they've delayed, they've been changing dates, they were on a limbo the whole time. But I cannot write a report and give that to them. They want to see the number of registrations. So we went to WhatsApp now. The other strategy was WhatsApp. I don't know if I can call this WhatsApp seeding, but that's how I had to handle this situation. So we went to WhatsApp, and there are these WhatsApp groups. I did not know. There are these WhatsApp groups, there's WhatsApp seeding. I don't know if anyone is familiar with WhatsApp seeding. That's the first time I heard about that. So there are WhatsApp groups with students and all that, like networking groups where you get, like, maybe there's a WhatsApp group with digital marketers, with social media managers, doctors, and those were the WhatsApp groups we were targeting. So we had to pay people to do the WhatsApp seeding. We gave them the copy, we gave them what to say, how to answer the questions. And from that, we actually got 348 plus the 42 we got. So we were at 400 and something registrations. And the client was satisfied, considering that they had so many delays. So those are some of the clients and case studies I will highlight. I chose to highlight these ones because they're not at the ones for, I didn't want to highlight the ones for success. Oh, now I did this campaign and but of course there are those campaigns, but we have to be real. We have to be real, especially when I wish someone had told me this, because I knew all digital marketers do campaigns and they blow up, but behind the scenes so much happens and people don't talk about that. So those are my real life case studies and a few lessons that I learned. Thank you so much. Yes. Do you want to ask questions about this? So I'll start with Melanie.
Can I go last? Let's start with everyone else.
Okay. So let's start with Vincent. It's because your name is appearing first here, so I'm like,
Anyway, no comment, honestly, but mi na learn to everything through experiences. Ni poa mnatuambia vitu kaa hizi. Thank you.
Any question?
No.
Okay. Janet?
Wow, Aki, your experiences are so wholesome. Sinimecheka. Kwanza Aki, hiyo part ulikuwa unasema vile mlifanya, ulienda after umefanya course, ukaamba, so when the digital marketer. Okay, now tell us what to do. Where? Because I'm telling you. when I started after Digipath, after nimemaliza kufanya your digital marketing course, Redesign Learning Solutions. That's the name of that company.
Okay.
Where nikaanza kufanya kazi na some client, that was a nail parlor, and mimi sikuwa nimefunzwa kwa hiyo course, hatukuwa tumefunzwa vitu za ads. So me, I just know part ya strategy. And strategy inaongelanga like everything, like the entire consumer journey. So you feel like you know everything, because ideally you know the journey, but it doesn't mean that you know all the nitty-gritties of how to go from each step to the other. So the client had the entire control of the ad side of the things, like everything marketing. ads ndizo tu sikuwa nafanya. So everything was flopping, like day after day after day. Oh my God, it was so horrible. And I remember feeling so bad. Hata hapo ndipo nilianza kupata imposter syndrome. So actually up to this day, mtu akiniambia I'm good at what I do, I'm like, huh, really? So I kind of, it really affected me so much because everything was flopping. And haiku ina joke by this. So you can actually, they used to do some ads, but see the ads, the ad manager. They just used to boost. So me sijui difference. So they keep telling me, Janet, we're spending money. Why are we not seeing results?
Oh, okay.
So me nawambia, the one line that used to save me mpaka ile siku nili lose job. Ilikuwa kuambia, but you know, in the course I learned, I knew I know for a fact that closing online sales is more difficult than you would imagine. So ilikuwa shinanikiambia, closing is difficult. Mazia, until I lost that job, I cried a river. So yote munasema stories are ads. I really thought it was I thought it was going to be magical. Like you just throw money at it and you just create some pretty visuals. And you know, I really like pretty stuff. So hata zile vitu na design niko sure kabisa mademu watapenda kwa hata ni nail parlor. Hey, hadi nawafanya wa engage kwa polls on stories. Like I used to outdo myself, but it was flopping so miserably. So hearing this from someone else who has had the same experience as like, because Bill umekuwa 3 years experience. So I'm just like here to pia niambia kina Vincent na Maggie. Hey, you guys, learn from us at least, because you don't have to go through those mistakes. Because as you can see, like the ads, zilikuwa zina make your difference yote. So apart from that, I had a question for you actually, and I had this even from the very beginning of this. Now that you're so big in digital marketing and the industry, because it's very vast and very dynamic, how is it like with traditional marketing for you?
Okay. At the beginning, I said, you know that meme of we are moving away from this. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
But that's what I was told when I got my first agency job. And we are moving away from traditional marketing. And though there's a campaign we did and we did billboards and all that, I would not say I am good at traditional marketing or I have a lot of experience. But again, it all goes down to knowing your audience and knowing and having a strategy. So if your strategy involves, I've seen so many brands involve both offline and online marketing. Showmarks, you've seen so many billboards of late when they got the new app and people were like, can't get the app, and they did a campaign, they did billboards. I think they've done TVCs, I'm not sure, but they've also done a lot of things on the digital platform. They've worked with influencers and all that. So I would say we should not really move away from it kabisa, because some strategies will require. I love billboards. I love engaging with billboards because when I did, there's a campaign I did, and we had to do billboards, and I did not know the behind the scenes. Of course, there's agencies to help, but I did not know how people select billboard ya Royco tunaweka hapo Githurai, na billboard ya sijui Showmax tunaweka hapa Thika Road hapo before sijui KU, na hii tunaweka hapo Tao ukiingia. I did not know how na hii mbona iko West, but I got to understand it's the same thing. Know your audience, and you can use both offline and online marketing. For TVCs, I've never interacted with that. I actually don't watch Citizen, KTN. So it's si kama kitambo when we knew all the jingles to the TVCs and all that. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does. And thank you for that. And actually, it's a thing I would like everyone to answer. For Vincent, Margie, come out with their experience, just say, are you open to that? Knowing what you know, in digital and traditional? Are you open to traditional? Because it's a thing I just recently started thinking about. But thank you so much, Brenda. Wow, that was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for making me laugh also. With your nail parlor story.
You're most welcome.
Okay, Vincent.
Okay, so nisha answer but hata nijibu Janet. Traditional inakaa unafaa kuwa specific sana because target yako pia ni ndogo juu, na plus inakaa costly sana juu ukiangalia kitu tuseme ka traditional, tuseme kama hizi posts na waganga it's a way of marketing but si kila mtu anaweza afford kuweka billboard, so it's kinda expensive too, so mi na prefer digital marketing.
Okay. Yeah, for traditional marketing, I don't think if it's just limited to billboards, but that's a good nini. There's also posters, there's also giving out of flyers. Most of the time I feel like traditional marketing is just for awareness, honestly, because you cannot even track conversions, because how will you tell how many people have seen your billboard along Thika Road, or how many people have seen your billboard in Tau? It's just for awareness. So you can complement it with the digital marketing aspect. There's always that conversation of traditional marketing versus digital marketing. And most of the time, digital marketing wins. And people give this example of even when you're in a matatu, most people are normally on their phones. They're not looking outside at, hey, hii kuna billboard gani leo hapa? No. But sometimes you'll see it unconsciously and you'll be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I also loved billboards that were being done by this insurance. I don't know if anyone has seen them. I've forgotten the name, but it was an insurance company, and they were putting like how will I say, like mchongwanos on their billboards. So they'll say, how can you buy, for example, how can you buy an iPhone na hujachukua insurance? Hiyo ikipotea, stuff like that. And I really loved their billboards. They're all over LinkedIn, people discussing and talking about them. Yeah. Margaret.
So well. I am lost of words. I would just say this has been an amazing session, especially getting to hear the wholesome experiences you've had. I would say I haven't had such an experience, but hearing your stories, and Janet, like in hiyo yako Janet, statement yako yo. Yeah.
It is difficult to make sense.
Exactly my point. Your line yako Janet imeniweza. So I think I'm learning a lot, especially being pretty new to this field. Having done LinkedIn, I didn't get the opportunity to interact with like the LinkedIn ad side, but I'll definitely look into it. It was more of now content and branding and that kind of stuff. So yeah, and my take on digital marketing and traditional marketing, as you said, Brenda, I feel like those two complement each other in a way, because there's still people who prefer doing it the old way. So yeah, I think I'd be open to trying both and see how they would complement each other depending on the campaign, maybe you're running or your target audience. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very true. They complement each other. Who else? Melanie.
Kwanza, wait, I moved away a bit. What are we giving context on right now?
We are just giving Janet had asked a question on traditional versus uh,
Digital.
digital.
I
Yes.
think I had that. Well, I think I had a bit of what Brenda said. When you get to work in a company that does a bit of both, you get to appreciate why sometimes for different campaigns you may need both. Perfect case study example, when Sky Garden, the online shopping company, was launching,
Yeah.
they took us from traditional to online. They had these boards, that would get you curious to visit their website or download their app. I think that is a well executed campaign for me. One that I remember, one that niliingia box as a marketer. So I don't think traditional marketing is dying completely, but I think that we are getting to a level where a lot of complementing will happen. Traditional may not die per se, hatujafika kwa level ya New York and 1000, so
Yeah.
if that at all is still considered traditional marketing in terms of out of home, then we still have a long way to go. So I
Yeah.
think when I think about it, it's more of a complementer. But again, we're in a space that changes every day. I used to use Janet's famous line as well. Set my career. I really used to use
Yeah.
until I now got to understand how ads work.
Yeah.
And I think over time, even when they don't work, and I mean, Janet is a testimony to that. We have 2 clients right now who we run ads for, people inquire and they drop off. But the clients still faithfully come for meetings every week to listen to me say that, simply because there are little progresses that we track that can show us we're on the right track in as much as people have not converted. So our industry is harsh because it keeps changing, but we learn. Brenda, thank you so much for sharing even your practical experiences. When you talked about boosting, I laughed because, I was also guilty of that when I began my career.
Yeah.
If you guys allow me for a few minutes, I just want to share my screen as well. I'm doing an interesting experiment with boosting. I've not boosted in a long time.
Okay.
But this month, I got a client who is doing A/B testing for many types of things. And for my sake as a marketer, I thought to include boosting into the A/B testing, where we do one for boosting and another class on the meta side. I can see Margaret asking for a class on ads. Margaret, I taught you, but don't worry, we will have one. So, I mean, when I look at the results, I just keep laughing. Let me share my screen so you see.
Okay.
So we have many ads. As you can see, we just worked together from end of June, and I think we've ran 28 ads.
Wow.
And it's been so interesting because they're trying to establish what people are interested in. They're a company that gives you loans to build different parts of your house. So either to paint, the floor, that kind of thing. So you notice some ads are for specific products. But if you look, which ones are the only ones that I set up on Meta Ads Manager are these last 3. Let me highlight them. These 3. The rest are all boosted. If I filter by results, in our case, result being action, will it allow me to filter that way? I want only the running ads to filter by result. Okay, no, it won't allow 2 filters. But just to show you, our results column ndio hii hapa. So if you are to assume highest to lowest results, already you can see the meta one, the last one, is performing very well. We have a second one here as well that is high performing. But I want you to look, we have 2 high performing ones on the boost.
Yeah, I can see them.
I'm so amused with this case study.
Yeah,
I keep wondering,
interesting.
over time, does that mean that they've made the boost button more relevant? But I also want you to notice I'm boosting with a lifetime budget, not a daily budget. So
Okay.
could it be that the problem was people were boosting with daily budget And that
Ah,
just wasn't working for the algorithm. So maybe when you give a lifetime total budget, it has the ability to play around and figure out how much should it use today. Because if you look at, for example, today's results alone, not even results, I want you to look at the amount spent. So far, we spent a total of $9. But look at the number of impressions our posts have had with $9
yeah.
in a
20.
day.
Mm.
If you look at yesterday alone, as I finished this sharing, we spent $11, just $2 more, and we got like almost
2,
12,000 more.
wow.
So I'll tell you guys the analysis from my boosting once I'm done, but okay, there is a good example of things changed and we're
Changing.
not aware
Yeah,
tumepatikana. So
yeah.
it's very interesting because for me, but I never used to get conversions. And actually, if you look at all of that, right now, if I can just show you the final thing, you might be there thinking, okay, are these things actually working? The client has an ugly Excel sheet. Warning, you'll see it in a minute, that they track. I don't like Excel sheets that are overwhelming like these ones. So they're ideally giving you results on
Wow.
daily. So you
Mhm,
remember yesterday we reached 37,000 people. So yesterday was 17th. So we reached 37,000 people. Our form is this one, Meta Get Started ya katikati. 17th ndio hii jana, I'm hovering on it. So we reached 37,000 people, but look at how many people clicked to actually come and view the form to apply for a loan, 4,000.
4,000.
Out of those 4,000, 100 of them either clicked to see the next question or clicked to type and that sort of thing. But look at how many people submitted, 52. And if you notice, if you look at that row for submitted, this is how it started on
Wow.
First July with one person, one person, one person. Then over time, when we started now testing boosting and meta, the
Yeah,
numbers started increasing. You can even see today we are.
yeah. 61.
So sometimes you think you know, and you don't know.
And you don't know.
Client is so impressed, and I can't explain, but they have never had results with any client. So even when they're like, "What are you doing?" I don't know what I'm doing. It's the algorithm. It's the algorithm. It's not me, man. It's not me. But yeah, I honestly was just showing you that because at the end of the day, we all don't know what we're doing in some cases.
Exactly. Yes.
Are learning on the job.
Mm,
And I think one of the freelancers I really love how vulnerable they are is Brenda, because Brenda will ask, no matter how it looks, no matter how you think, she will ask. You know, your work is to answer. So, I mean, and for me, I will happily tell her. Like, I remember when we were trying to choose the influencer for the campaign she was doing. Initially, I was like, I know who would work. Even me, I get to levels where I have no idea. Even with my experience, it's
yeah.
totally normal.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest takeaway for me from today's session is just that. Brenda, you took me back to remembering that it's okay to not know, it's okay to learn on the job. You know, it's
Yeah.
okay for things not to work as long as you learn from it. I think for me, those have been the biggest.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you. Also, Melanie, question. Have you seen this new update on boosting for Apple? So when I'm using an Apple device, say my MacBook or my iPhone, if I boost, of course, I'll pay 16% VAT, right? And 20% will go to Apple. And I'll only be left if maybe my budget is 100%. So let's say I pay 16% VAT and 20% to Apple. So I do 34% is gone. I only remain with 56%. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it. For context, guys, VAT is VAT, in case you are
Yeah.
wondering, just to clarify. I haven't seen that. Why are Apple taking money?
I have no idea. So I saw a conversation. Is it a sign for us to stop boosting? Is it a sign for businesses to now engage social media managers, digital marketers to do their ads on Ads Manager? Because it's like they're telling us to move away from from boosting.
And that's
I'll send you that article.
nice. It's a good way to think about it. I think Apple, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Apple. The other day, I was running ads for a client in the UK. My God. I'm telling you the trigger warnings you get on Meta ads for
Yeah.
due to new rules, there are audiences that will not see your ads due to privacy and ad blockers. And they're just like, oh, social media people have ad blockers. Oh my goodness, your ad won't be
Yeah.
seen in locations. It really annoys me, but a good thing to have, because then people with Apple products then tend to be able to restrict ads more than Android users. So what does that
Yeah.
mean? But Brenda, I really like the transition to meta ads because more work for marketers. I don't think clients wamejua kutumia meta ads sana. More work for marketers. But I think also on the flip side, there'll be a high demand for people to learn how to use Ads Manager.
Ads Manager.
So we
Yeah.
also have to be ready for that. And I mean, the world keeps changing. Google Ads has introduced AI within Google Ads.
Yeah.
So right now, there's no telling clients, oh, Google Ads are difficult to set. Right?
Yes.
Now there's AI inside. So we learn. But I think the benefit we have them, all these platforms are traumatizing. I can see Janet saying intimidating. Yes, so clients are pleased with them. So maybe
Yeah.
give us some leeway around
Yes.
how soon then we would probably be losing clients. Yeah.
Okay, it's actually 30%. They're taking 30%, so you pay 46.
Huge.
Yeah, and now Meta are now helping advertisers to avoid paying this extra charge by showing them how to run ads on Ads Manager. So I think maybe they want to do a course. I don't know. I don't know what
Things are
what
moving
the end goal
faster
is.
than us.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah, we keep watching.
Yes. Yes. Okay, thank you. And people were also asking questions. They were asking a question if you have one, and also answering Janet. So thank you. Thank you for that.
There is no question from me. I'm good.
Okay, sawa. So we have come to a sad end of our session. This was a really good session. I have learned, I have laughed, I have talked. It's 6.
Imagine.
At the beginning, I thought I'll be done by 4:45, but it's 6. I love how engaging this session was. Looking forward to more of these sessions. Count me in when you're having such sessions. Thank you, Margaret, Vincent, Janet. Thank you for joining. I have met new people today, and they say, what do motivational speakers say? Your net worth is the number of people you meet or you know. Yes, so I have
Network is
networked.
your network is your net worth.
Come on, you see? So yeah, my network is my network. So I have known 3 more people today, and I'm looking forward to interacting with you even more in the days to come. Thank you, Melanie, for this opportunity. Thank you for also training me. I think I don't say this enough. Well, hey, hata kama I was being told, Sasa, you see, you've been trained. Okay, come here. We see how well you have been trained. But the lessons really came in handy. I told you the other day when I went to Muthaiga, I don't know if I told you, I started training people on running ads. Their marketing team. Can you imagine? I should have made
You've
some
not
money
told
from.
people about that one. Ebu, please. Hebu kwanza, let me give you a few minutes to talk about that experience.
Okay, so that one is one of those success ones that I was avoiding. So Melanie graciously helped me get an opportunity to do social media management for Kenya Magical Open. Those who are golf enthusiasts know
Who asked
about
the
this
name of the
event.
brand? You've forgotten the name.
Muthaiga Golf Club, or rather Magical Kenya Open. So
So,
so,
yes, we.
so I did that job for 3 days and I went home. Let me just tell you, I went home with a good 35K just for 3 days. And it was not a lot of work actually, just real-time posting for the event, doing the videos, the photos, and also running ads for registrations because people were registering to come for the event. The experience, a very good one. It was easier than I thought. I actually got into the offices that day, and of course, there's a lot of checking and a lot of yeah, but when I got there, I was like, wow, this is all I have to do. And I realized their marketing team is somehow untrained apart from their marketing manager. So the rest, they actually don't know what they're doing. But we worked together and I trained them a little on ads. They were doing boosting. Can you imagine? For an event, boosting. I know we've said we don't know until we know, but that was a shock for me. But it was a very good experience, a very good one. Yes. Thank you, Melanie.
Thanks, Brenda. You know why I've asked her to share that? Because sometimes, guys, opportunities are closer than you think. That work came to me. The person who reached out really wanted to work with me. And I was like, you know what? Hii kitu ni yangu kweli. Like, nitoke kwenye niko, because I don't stay in Nairobi. Niende Kenya.
Yeah.
Fine, that 5,000 may seem like a lot of money. Okay, for now, for me, it's not. Trying to be humble. But when I looked at it at the end of the day from a business perspective, it didn't make sense. So I
Yeah.
said, "Chief, you know what? Me, I can do it. But I know someone who can do it." And I told the girl, even before I looked for Brenda, I told her, "I have someone, let me just check if they are available." And Brenda, I felt your hesitance. Even when
I
I was
was.
giving you the work, I felt your hesitance and I didn't want to force you. But I was so glad you said yes, because the job seemed so big when that chick was giving it out. And then when you go on, you realize, hiya, this thing is actually so easy. And I remember one debate we had with Brenda was around how much to charge them, because it's 3 days. You'd be tempted to charge 3,000, you know? I'm just
Yeah.
quoting. But
Yeah.
I mean, she quoted and the quote was accepted and life continued, and look at another door opening. So sometimes, guys, just as long as you have the skill, it doesn't matter who the brand is, because the open is for Barclays. Who is it? ABSA. What are they? What's the back?
ABSA.
Yeah. You may hear ABSA and panic, like, guy, am I like ABSA material? Am I like, but at the end of the day, just imagine it as brand X. Brand X could be big, brand X could be small. Just do it. You know, and that's how you get the experience. Sometimes I look at the brands I have on my portfolio and I'm shocked, you know, and just I think a few days ago when we spoke with Brenda, I tried to think of the brands in your portfolio, especially with Turn Left, and I was just like, oh my God, the game is really changing for you.
Changing.
So
Yeah.
guys, stop dreaming of these small businesses. They'll help you get experience. Yes, you help them out of your heart. But 8 years in, we want you to be working with Turn Left. We want you to be working with ABSA, you know, Hotpoint. Those are the brands we want you to work with, because the bigger the brand, sometimes the bigger the tasks and the more experience you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Brenda, I
Thank
think
you.
from us, a big thank you. I'll give a round of comments to everyone, but personally, I've thoroughly enjoyed. I did not know we get to 6, so even me, I'm shocked with the time. Personally, I've
Yeah.
really enjoyed. You've not trained me before, so this was excellent.
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed, a lot to learn. I think I've already talked about my takeaways, so I won't repeat that.
Yeah.
But from Digipath, you've done us a solid. I think going forward, these guys have, what the real side of it looks like. I tend to avoid making people very theory-based. Then ukikuja kwa ground, you are surprised. So
Yeah.
thank you for telling us the truth about the ground. I think I'll hand it over to Margaret, then Vincent, then Janet to just give comments and their key takeaways from the session.
First and foremost, this has been an amazing session. Getting to learn from you, Brenda, with the life experiences, like kulearn vitu kwa ground ni totally different na theory. And I remember I really pushed Melanie even before tumalizia program ya Ibis Africa. I told her I would really want to intern with her because I feel like digital marketing has so much of practical than the theory bit. And when she said yes, I was like, who? I just bagged myself a mentor. So it's gonna be an amazing journey now getting to learn from you as well. And na Melanie, please, sijui utamwad kwa hiyo group yetu.
I'll share her number. Yeah, ndo tusimbombard na tasks zenyu, but I'll share her number. I'm sure she'll be happy for you guys to reach out. Na mumtumie testimonial, please. Hiyo ndo condition ya number.
Ati?
Hiyo ndo condition ya number, lazima mtume testimonial.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course. So it's been an amazing session. I've learned so much that I didn't know about. And I'm looking forward to many more of these sessions, many more starting on projects, collaborating with you guys. And yeah, it's been an amazing session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Margaret.
Me nikianza, when I started the internship, I thought I was ready to be a marketer, but the more I'm continuing with Melanie, the more I'm learning. Sikuwa ready at all. So nimelearn a lot. Pia mi ningekuwa situations mkuwa sijui vile ninge handle, but sasa hii at least nitaweza kuziface. Thank you for your time. Manze, be blessed, manze. Thank you.
Karibu. And you're ready for it. Actually, people don't even know what they're doing. we learn on that. Kusema ukweli. So long as you have your skills, you learn on the
Yes.
job. Yes. And
True.
we are still learning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Janet.
Hey, Brenda, thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you so much, man. I've had so much fun. I've learned a lot. I've laughed a lot. And I've really learned so much. Na kwanza napenda vile umeintegrate hadi na real life stories, because that's the one thing that we really miss out on in digital marketing. Ukiangalia Google, kuna like so many free courses in digital marketing. YouTube zimejaa. We have information overload, theoretical information overload on the internet and everywhere you go. Iyo practical, yotpatangi. So getting that is a real breath of fresh air. Thank you very much. And I am, maze mimi nataka kuona hiyo portfolio yako. Mimi ninataka kuiona. This was so nice. I feel like na feel kama mtu akisoma portfolio yako anaweza ona like a whole history of little baby steps growth, but like big milestones at the same time, which really is what we want to see. We want to see the practicality and the authenticity. It's so nice. Thank you so much. And wow, you're going far.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you for the good energy and the positive vibes as well. Your portfolio nita update. Alafu tutashare. Yeah. Otherwise, I think everyone has spoken. Thank you very much. One more thing, you have bugged a mentor for sure. There's someone who has said that Melanie is, hey, I don't know, she's everything, yeah, and she'll help you guys. She still does. I actually mention her as my mentor everywhere. I'm like, "Ah, I know a lady called Melanie. She trained me. Hey, nika ni kanisa, ni pastor." Yeah. I'm marketing her, but it actually comes from a point of so much gratitude. I think if there's anyone who is ready to share her experience, her contacts, anything, it's Melanie. She's not a gatekeeper at all. Yeah. Thank you so much. God bless. Yeah, Melanie, you can end the meeting.
Oh, thank you. Most welcome. No gatekeeping, Apana. I said no to gatekeeping.
Mm,
For those of you who are here and you don't know, when I started my career, I had no one. Everyone was gatekeeping.
mm,
And so I did a lot of learning on the job rudely, a lot of messing up, live clients, a lot of
yeah.
kubanwa. Yeah. So
Mm,
to avoid that, I give of myself fully and I'll keep doing that. And I hope that even as I mentor you guys, you will do the same for others. Please. I hope you will
yes,
do the same. But yeah,
yes.
tuachie hapo. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. I will share the recording just in case anyone needs that, as well as I hope the meeting notes were going. Yeah, I'll share the meeting notes as well.
Okay.
All right. Have a great evening.
You
Bye.
too.
Bye.
Thank
You too.
you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.